Yo, what's goody, Latrell in a hoodie, and welcome to another episode of the Brother Next Door podcast, where we talk about finance, personal development, and skills to get you further in life through actionable steps and my own personal experiences. In this episode, we are talking about what to do when you have a major jump in income, right? It's bound to happen if it hasn't happened yet, especially for my people going from college to uh, graduating and moving on to the real world, or even, other situations. It's bound to happen. You're going to go from making barely any money to making a lot of money compared to what you were making, right? Just transparency, I've been able to, or not been able to, but my income has quadrupled, actually. At first, I said doubled in the last episode, but it actually quadrupled when I look back at my tax returns. And so that's what I want to talk about. I mean, like I said, we doing life together, fam. And so what happens to me, I'm gonna give y'all my, thoughts on it, what I think on it, and how I'm going about it. And y'all take the advice, run with it. Y'all leave the advice and keep it pushing. That's up to y'all. But I'm just talking about what I've done over the past, 2 weeks since starting the new role, and what I think is best in a situation like this, and then we'll just, go from there. So, how does this happen, right? There's a plethora of ways that this can't, I ain't gonna say there's a plethora, but there's a couple different ways that this can happen. Either you can go, like me, go from part time to a full time position at the same job, or go from intern to getting hired full time. That's one way you can go about it. Another way is changing jobs. There's there's a certain group of people that bounce job to job because the income potential, the income jumps are so much higher compared to staying with the same job over the course of a couple years. Another way you can go about it is going from salary base to performance base. So what this looks like is a sales position. What this looks like is doing network marketing, anything where you're either selling somebody something and getting commission from it, or you're bringing somebody onto a company in the network marketing field, and then they get under you, and then you do that whole pyramid thing. So there's multiple ways to drastically increase your salary or your take home income, and those were just a couple of ways. Another thing I want to point out and be very, you know, I want to be very specific about is doubling your salary doesn't necessarily mean you're doubling your take home income. So once that once you sign that offer letter, that doesn't necessarily mean that double the amount of money will be coming in, right? So maybe your gross income doubled, but your take home might not double. Why is that? Because of taxes. Especially if you're going from one tax bracket to the next tax bracket, you're not it's not just going to just double. It might not just double. And so definitely take that into consideration. I'd advise that you wait until that first check does come in so you know exactly what's going on, how much was taken out of your check, what benefits are you taking advantage of at your job place, and how much of that is going, how much of your check is going towards benefits. So there's a lot of different things that you need to consider before just saying, oh, I got double the money. Let me go ahead and buy this nice car. Let me go ahead and just get a house. Right. So definitely think about that before just, you know, going and making, outrageous purchases. Understand the first thing you should do is if you don't already have a budget, get a budget. I harp on this all the time. If you don't already have a budget, get a budget because that's going to be able to tell every single dollar where it needs to go. You should be telling every single dollar. You should be commanding every single dollar. Hey, you're going here. Hey, you're going there. Hey, this is for me. I'm spending it on whatever I want. You should know exactly where all your money is going at all times. So get a budget if you don't already have one. Don't get too big for the small things. going right back to budgeting. If budgeting is what got you there, right? I truly believe, let me back up. I truly believe that in every season, you're not going to get to that season until you're prepared for it, until you're ready for it, right? You're not going to be put in a position that you're not ready for. And so I truly believe that in where you are today is made up of all the decisions you made previously, right? So every single decision, every single habit, everything you've done leading up to where you are today is what made you who you are and where you are. And so to not get too big for the small things, I've been budgeting for the past 2, 3 years, right? I've already been doing it. I've already been a good steward of my money. And so now that I have this double an increase, that doesn't mean I'm gonna go buck wild, forget the budget, and go spend money on whatever I want. Actually, the complete opposite. Like I said last episode, I feel more broke than I was last year because now I'm using that extra money that I was making to pay off my student loans now, right? That's not everybody's story. Not everybody has student loans. So if you don't even have to worry about that debt and you get that, double increase, hey, more power to you. You know what I'm saying? You have a lot more purchasing power and a lot more mobility with your money than I do right now. And so definitely take advantage of that if you do not have large amounts of debt, right? So uh, continue to budget if you're already budgeting. Continue to save. Continue to invest or start investing. If you're not already doing these things, start doing these things because there will come a time when hardship happens. Just because you're making double doesn't mean you're going to be able to take care of every single emergency. Just because you're making double doesn't mean you could just spend your money on whatever with whoever you want, right? You still need to be a good steward. You still need to save your money for, you still need an emergency fund, $1,000, go up to, 3 months worth of living expenses, 6 months, and then eventually, a year one day. Still need to be still need to be contributing if you're going from part time to full time. My job luckily had a 401k match for hourly workers, so I stopped it, but I was contributing a little bit for a while to that 401k, but I just felt like it wasn't worth the match wasn't worth it, and so I just stopped contributing after a while. And then once I went salaried, then I started contributing because it's worth a lot more. That match is worth a lot more now than it was when I was salaried. And so definitely keep that in mind when it comes to investing and getting that income and becoming full time. Is benefits do come with that. So if you can, definitely take advantage of those benefits. Don't break previous good habits, right? If you're very good about not eating out all the time, if you're very good about not just, spending your money wherever, don't that shouldn't change. Like don't let your income, don't let that take home money change the way you've been acting, right? If anything, you should be positioning yourself even more to make more money, right? A couple of episodes ago I was talking about, how different households spend their money. And so now with this doubling of income, you should be going from either the poor to the middle class category. You should be going from the middle class to the upper class category or household. And so with the upper class household, what they're doing is taking their money and making more money. They're taking their money, putting it in income producing assets, and those income producing assets are not only paying them every single month, every single week, but it's also paying for all the regular expenses. So for the mortgage, for the car payments, for the food, for any and every, for the toys, and for the depreciating assets. And so you want to start positioning yourself to getting assets that are going to start making you money. And so those are the few things that I'm going to start doing, that I'm actively doing, that I will continue to be doing, and then, go from there. They gave me a salary based off me not graduating. And so now I'm going to get another salary bump. It probably won't be double. That'd be insane. It won't be double, but um, it definitely will be a decent amount more than what I'm making now. And that money, I'm just going to put even more towards paying off debt. My goal, and I don't think I've announced this publicly, but my goal is to pay off my debt by the time I'm 25. 23 right now, so I got 2 years, I got year and a half. So my goal is to take care of that debt before I am 25 because I don't want to deal with it. I want to get out of the negative uh what's it called? Net worth. I want to get out of the negative net worth and start getting into the positive net worth. I'm already investing, but that means nothing when I'm $50,000 in debt, right? And so that's my goal for the next 2 years is to be very frugal with my spending and really really focus on paying off that debt, right? Right now it's 2,000 a month, and then once I get that pay increase it's going to be 3,000 a month, and by that time I should be debt free by the time I'm 25. So that's the goal. I'm gonna keep y'all updated on my journey as I go through it. I might post it on Instagram. We'll see, but that's where I'm at right now. That's what I'm working towards. I hope you guys are working towards financial goals, goals in general. I hope you're working towards big, worthwhile goals as well, and be down to share them with me. Um, I'll leave a little section where you could comment for Spotify only though. But definitely comment. Let me know what your big goals are. Let me know how you're working towards those goals, and let's get to those goals together. We're going through life together. I'm just teaching y'all some stuff. I'm just putting some information in front of y'all, and y'all just taking that information. So, if you're enjoying the podcast, there's a way to donate one, $5, or $10 every single month. If you feel like you're getting value, I feel like that's worth one meal every single month. Come on now. I'm feeding y'all weekly. The least you can do is feed me one meal, one Chipotle bowl every single month. Come on, fam. And so if you're down to do that, it'll be down in the description. The link will be down there as well as where you could let me know what your big goals are. So please answer that for me so I can connect with y'all. That way I can grow with y'all and figure out what y'all on. So with that, y'all take it easy. Peace.